Rick, ready? Okay, we're back. All right, now comes the time for public comment on any item you would like to comment or question us on. Public first. Any members of the public, questions or comments? Okay. Everybody's spent. Okay, board members, time for questions, comments. Mark, you're first.
Yes, two things.
Right.
One, we have increased our budget on mental health, which I applaud. But I would really like to see us be more proactive. So I'm asking if my fellow board members would go along with this. The newest thing that's being introduced.
Oh.
Sorry.
I forgot about Mary.
Sorry, Mark.
Out of sight, out of mind.
One quick second. It's getting very late.
Remember, Mark, anything after 10 o'clock.
I know,
Your rule.
I told them that.
Your rule.
I was always told nothing good happens.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
So
Mark's talking.
the newest thing that's being introduced into school systems is mindfulness, or yoga, or some kind of meditation. So I'm going to ask if my fellow board members go along with me that there's something that's investigated, whether we can bring this into our school system. There is definite proof that it relieves stress, which we know that our children are going through, and it also increases academic performance.
So several years ago, we did workshops where we asked teachers to put in proposals for a PD day, and we happened to do that. And several of our teachers actually did presentations on brain breaks and mindfulness and meditation, and because they use it in their classrooms. So we do have that sporadically around the district where people use it, and we're also very much into mindfulness and growth mindset with our students, which we've been putting in the district for a couple of years now. Teaching students different ways of thinking about things. So we do have pockets of it in district, not on a formal kind of a basis.
Real quick.
But we definitely have that happening. So I can certainly find out who uses it and how they use it, especially around more high-stress times, like standardized testing times. Lots of teachers do it right before a classroom test or assessment to help students. So it's certainly happening in our classroom.
It may be happening, but what I'm asking is that we expand on this and that we look into possibly making it part of the day and making it, I don't want to call it a requirement, but making it more accessible for our students throughout the grade. Because if one teacher is doing it in one school and there's 10 classrooms, that's 9 classrooms who are missing the benefits from that particular mindfulness or yoga or whatever you want to call it, stress relief. So if we can look into that, I'd really, really appreciate it. And the other thing is, we all know what happened at the meeting last Tuesday regarding sports clubs and other clubs that were having difficulty in getting their equipment replaced or getting their equipment repaired. So is there any way, and I know I just spoke with Emily, there's so much that's on the plate right now, it just looks like a lot of these things have been overlooked over the past years. But I just got a call from a neighbor today regarding the team that he's on, where there wasn't adequate equipment being purchased, and recently it was just purchased. There has to be other clubs, other sports teams that are suffering the same as the ones that were brought up on Tuesday. Is there any way that we can have somebody, Monday, I'm sorry, I got my days wrong, Monday. Is there somebody who can be put in charge of this that can see if all of these sport teams and all of the clubs...
There is somebody in charge, the athletic director.
Well, is there any way he then can evaluate if the needs are all being met or if they aren't met?
I'd like to address it, because I know it did come up on Monday, and I would be remiss if I did not say this. The administration is looking into it.
Okay.
And when we did look into it after Monday, a lot of it was being addressed already. And there were quotes to repair instruments that we received like the last week of June. So I mean, we're only in July. We got a quote. It was never budgeted for or whatever, and the quote was submitted in April. So we waited 3 months. Somebody had a quote for 3 months, gave it to the administration the last week of June, and then we're bringing it up. So the administration really is looking into it. But if we don't know, we can't help. So I asked that if somebody out there has a concern athletically, extracurricular, music, and something's not being replaced or fixed, please bring it to us so that we can look into it. Because I know it did come up on Monday, but we never knew about it. And there was a quote just sitting out there that nobody brought to us or brought to us 3 months later. So I just want
Asking to repair it over the summer.
Yeah,
Asking
so-
specifically to do it over the summer.
And it's my understanding with the instruments, they're looked at the end of every year, and they're repaired or replaced as needed. So it's not like they be sitting in a corner collecting dust.
The music teachers, when they had a need for an instrument repair, they talked to the supervisor, he puts in a PO, I approve them throughout the year. We have line items in the budget for piano tuning specifically, for instrument repair.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I said, what we received at the end of the year was beyond our budget, but we're still doing it, obviously. But we did just get a bid in June.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Ron, and then Emily.
Two things. Well, first, just to piggyback on it,
I like to be on the
we did have a discussion, because that is the AD, he's the one in charge, but all the coaches also know that they're supposed to go to the athletic director before their season starts of what they need, so they can put it in their budget also, because we do have a budget, and to make sure they have it. But also, just so you know, the football helmets have to be recertified every year. Lacrosse helmets now have to be, and now they're going to go to baseball and softball helmets. They'll have to be recertified. In another year, it's going to become a law. Anyway, the other question I had brought it up, I think, about a month or two ago at a meeting. I had seen this on, I think I might have seen it on TV somewhere. Is there any way to implement it's really small, where these kids in classrooms, like, to teach about, to get away from the bullying, to be nice and everything else, it's like, when they go into class, the teachers out there, they kind of like hug and they shake hands. Like, one kid is designated. Well, no, all right, they're not hugging, but yeah, they didn't hug, but they shook hands. One kid was designated every day to do it differently.
So you may have actually seen that during the Sanford Harmony presentation.
Yeah.
No, that's it. No, that was it. No, but I saw it on. I saw it there, but I saw it someplace else. And I just thought it was a great idea because
Absolutely.
each child is doing it every day. It's not the teacher. I apologize.
Right. No, that's okay. The Sanford Harmony program, the main goal is to create positive relationships between students. That is the primary goal, get students to get along with one another, respect one another, understand one another, to place children together in buddy-up groups and meet-up groups in order to maybe have to interact with a student that you might not normally choose to. So that is the entire focus. We are, as I said, connecting it to our health curriculum, and in the health curriculum, and just to reiterate, in the health curriculum, grades K to 5, there are conflict resolution, getting along, friendship type of themes. So every day before lunch, which is where we tend to have those types of issues, those kinds of things are going to be reiterated every day for 10 to 15 minutes.
Great.
Yeah, so, but if there's something more, but we think that this is going to help address a lot of that.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
yeah, you're welcome.
Emily?
Okay, so I have prepared a PowerPoint slide on safe routes to school, but I am not going to present it at 10:30 at night.
Yay, Emily.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
no. So you want to see the power?
That's my interpersonal intelligence. So I'm gonna email you all, the board and the administration. I'm gonna email you the materials and ask if you can review it before our next meeting, and then at the next board meeting we can talk about it a little bit further. But I just wanted to put that out there.
We want each direct.
Put it up.
Okay.
Jar.
The other thing that's forward-looking that I wanted to talk, mention to my board colleagues is that one of our board goals, of course, is to revisit our committee structure, and we've had some fruitful conversations around that already. And I thought it would be helpful to the group if we survey each of us on some specific ideas and issues that have come up in the conversations. So I've been taking pretty careful notes of our large group conversations about committees and trying to distill some key decision points. And so the idea would be that everybody would complete an online survey like through Survey Planet, and we can use the information that people, okay, I see some puzzled looks.
I don't know if we could do that, if that violates the open public meeting.
I thought we were discussing that at the board retreat.
So this
No,
would be in
but we're trying to
preparation-
condense it down to something to discuss at the board retreat.
Oh, okay.
So we've
I
got
get it.
A through Z, as opposed to open, you know.
Like we've been doing.
Yeah.
Right. So the idea would be that we could analyze people's responses, and those issues that we have pretty good consensus, we don't need to spend our valuable time hashing that out, but that would be pretty clear. And then the areas that people are either uncertain about because they just want to talk it through a little bit more, or we're kind of all over the board on our support or lack of support, those would be what we would spend time during the retreat. And so it's an effort to try to help the group process move forward in a deliberate way. Regarding board quorum, I don't know, Paul, I don't think about that.
In terms of like an electronic survey?
Yeah.
Survey.
If you do it so you're not interchanging opinions, you'd be okay. In other words, if everybody submits, let's say, to the president once, or even multiple times, but as long as you don't share it and debate it, you can share the final result. But the key is not to get into a discussion or a debate about it,
Great.
online. So you certainly could do it like a one-way communication.
Okay, great. So does anybody see any issues with that or reservations?
Because Emily and I talked about it, and she put together some questions, and we're gonna talk about it, and together we'll formulate. I mean, she knows how to do the survey thing, I don't. But we'll talk about, we'll send the survey out. This way we have something to work off of in September when we get there, when we do the board retreat.
Steve,
Yes, Mary?
you just have to make sure that then everything gets to Matt Lee, because
Yeah.
Matt Lee is planning the workshop, and, you know, I wouldn't want him to be...
No, you're right, you're right.
But he would need everything way ahead of time.
Okay, that's not a problem.
So thanks, Mary, that I can reach out to Matt and share with him the survey as well, and get his input on the questions too. If there are any other board members that would like to pilot the survey, like Jean's looking at it and giving me good feedback on the questions.
Why don't you and I just do it for now?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we'll go with that. The other thing that I would like to just bring up to administration's attention again, with maybe the idea that this could be in place at some point this school year, is just the idea of offering families more options for extracurriculars after school through the community school, with the idea of having a set of activities that could maybe be rotated across the elementary. So I just wanted to ask, I know you're looking into it, but I just wanted to raise that again as something that would be great if there's more information as soon as possible. I think that would go a long way with many members of our community.
What type of activities you think?
So just an
I'm just
example,
curious.
you could have a robotics, drama, art, and Lego. And so then on Mondays, Lego's at Warren Point, it's at, it's rotated across the 6 elementary schools.
So I just have a question. Do you have a start time that you think would be an ideal start time?
For the extra
Yeah,
curriculars?
like 4 p.m. Is that something that?
I would say immediately after dismissal, so the kids would just stay. They get dismissed at 3 from elementary. No, you hire outside instructors, or, I don't know the answers. Those are.
I know that the community school director is looking at making additions.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to put money in.
Perhaps Emily can attend one of the community school meetings and present her ideas. I'm the liaison there. I can bring it to Mike Shansky's attention, and we can ask her questions, and she can relay the information to us if she would like.
I can bring it to Mike Jansky.
Oh, okay.
And we just also, tonight, we just hired 2
Yeah, the supervisor.
supervisors for before and after care as well. So I think it would be a great idea, sit down with Mike and those 2 supervisors, Natalie and I, and we could bring this to them and see what they come back with.
But this, you're talking about this is not aftercare, this is in addition to.
Another option for parents to spend their money on aftercare. at the
Yeah,
schools.
like this is not
Yeah.
within that
No, no,
context.
You don't have to be an
Separate
aftercare to
track.
be able to do
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
these courses.
Like a camp.
That's exactly what we're looking at already.
And if you ever need board members' help with liaising, like
Yes.
questions like that, if you want the
Thank
community input, we're happy
We spoke about that.
to help.
Yes.
And then lastly, I'm just gonna ask this because I ask this every meeting. I just want to know when the next community relations committee meeting is gonna be. That's all. I don't expect an answer.
I'll,
2 in the morning.
I'll talk to Lisa. You're away. All right, so maybe, you know, around the time of the next board meeting, you know, last week in August maybe. Hmm? I'll talk about it tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jeff?
Yeah, I'm just going to ask this really quickly. If you could please let me know, the administration could please let me know when I could report back to the board and public about our technology and where we are with the audits and everything. I'd like to be able to have a technology meeting, but I'm not going to call one until I get that
We're
information.
still waiting for the report.
Okay. So if
Once
you
I
could,
have that, I will let the board know.
I appreciate that, so that we can have a meeting and move forward with that. And the other thing is, yeah, that's kind of it, so.
Mary, you okay? Mary?
Yeah, we hear some like crackling noise. You got a fire going?
I just opened a Cheeto bag. Sorry, guys. It's a
Yeah, Rod, this sounds like a lobster.
on the phone.
Well, your name.
Lobster on the deck.
She's in Maine.
Yeah, but there's others. All right, any other board members?
I just want to say that during the break, several of my friends texted me because someone's posting on Facebook quotes from our meetings, and I just wanted to say publicly that I will, I stand by anything that I say, and I'm not going to respond on the Facebook interface to any of this nonsense.
Okay, now, I have a couple of things. Nick and I met with the mayor and the borough manager last month, and we had a discussion about Center Rec. And we really hadn't really discussed it since then, but apparently now it's going full throttle on Facebook.
Beautiful
And
pictures.
with pictures and diagrams, and so what he approached us and wanted to know, they're going to get it done. Apparently they have a $1.2 million to do Center Rec with artificial. 1.3
Behind the high school.
Center Rec.
It's all over the field behind the high
And
school. That's the town field.
he approached us and said, look, you guys use it as much or more than we do. Would you be willing to split the cost? And I said, well, you know, we don't have an extra $650,000 lying around. So the discussion was that they're not sure how they're going to fund it, if they're going to bond it or if they're going to use surplus, but they're willing to let us pay them over 10 years, whatever the number is, 650 divided by 10, 65,000. So I said, look, you know, Nick and I, and we talked to Ron about it later on. I guess Monday we talked about it because it all of a sudden it just popped up again. It was kind of like on a back burner, but now Kurt is, you know, got things going full throttle. So the question is the board willing to do something like that to get Center Rec, which will be able to be used on a much greater basis than it is now? Right now, apparently, it's, you know, kind of beat up. So, are we willing to do something like that? And not for this year. I told them, listen, the budget's done, can't do it. We're talking about the following years, 10 years out, like 65 grand a year. So, I'm running it by you now, and only because I would have waited, but he's got some kind of a public meeting coming up on August 8th or something.
No, tonight he presented it to all sports. It's not a definite final drawing, and then he's doing August 8th or 9th.
Yeah,
it's going to be the council that's going to present it.
No, I thought the council's the 14th.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, he's going to present it to
Yeah,
the
but he's
public.
doing something else on the
Yeah.
8th.
Yeah.
So it's coming up very soon. So, you know, not that you've got to give him a definite answer, but I'd like to get the sense of how we feel about it. I mean, we do use that field a lot.
Why does this not go through shared services? It would be a shared services agreement.
It would be a shared services agreement.
I'm just wondering why my committee was usurped.
Are we not using the?
Well, here we are.
Wondering.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask the same question, and I was also going to say we used to share the cost of doing the fields. They did one year, and then we did one the next year. when the fields needed to be done, that was, if you remember.
Yeah.
That's how we used to do it, so
They would,
if they're doing this one, then, you know, like maybe.
yeah, but that was maintenance, reseeding and stuff
Well,
like
it
that.
was- it was
We're talking
pretty
about
much
now,
I don't mind, putting, you know, however, putting in to fix that stuff, but I think it should come through shared services, and I think that we should get a plan together for, because there's a lot of fields that need, both ours and theirs, that need.
I know, but we're talking about right now,
Right. but-
just redoing center rec,
Yeah.
artificial
I don't
turf.
have a problem,
Wanna do a straw?
you know, do whatever, like the
That
65.
conversation's going on.
But I don't mind, you know, approving that for
Right.
next year or whatever, but I think that that the whole idea of it we should have been included in the discussions for having it done, because the tennis courts are down there, like they're, you know, that could have been included in, you know, some of the strategy
Well,
of what was fixed.
it's their field. They own it.
Yes,
So
I
they don't
realize
have to
that.
run it through what,
But we used to be included in those discussions, that's all.
no,
I'm
not
saying.
in making a turf field. We were including discussions in maintaining the fields, like water cannons and seeding and giving it a year off. Ron, you're the expert here.
Well, just, I agree with what you're saying, and Jeff, it was never done personally, I can tell you that, because I'm on the same committee as you, okay? This is something that he's been hot, not just this field, all the fields, because they're disgusting, okay?
Who's he?
The mayor, Mr. Paluso, okay? He wants to do a lot of maintenance on all the fields, but that field in particular gets used extremely a lot, and it can never, ever get fixed because nobody's ever off of it, okay? Let me finish, please, okay? So he does intend to work on the other little fields, just keep them dirt and redo them. But that's the field because it's got lights on it. They want to redo that field, and we do probably use it more. As far as us, we really only have 3 fields in this town. We have Memorial, we have Westmoreland, we have Forest School. Well, we have Warren Point School, I apologize. That's the Board of Ed fields. So that's why he wants to get it done for 2019, spring of 2019. So that's why he's pushing this along as fast. I guess he presented it to the council and everything else too. And he's got, you know, their backing and everything else. So, and you know, like I said, we do use it a lot, and it can be very advantageous to us as far as bringing our varsity teams back there, and then also soccer, across everything, can play double up with games and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's a good idea. But we use it more than they do, the town does.
Jeff Benson.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing and against this, but again, we have a committee structure here, and there's a reason we go through it, and if anyone else were to, again, usurp that structure, they'd be held to pay for that person. So, that being said, now we get it at like 12 to 11 at night to make a decision on this, when if it would have went through a committee, we could have talked about it, we could have talked about more of the pros and cons and other variables, and now we're sitting here and we have to basically say yes to it, or we look like a bunch of jerks without any type of discussion, and I just think it's unfair to throw that out there. But it's not that I didn't know all of this was going on, but I didn't realize it wasn't going to go to committee, and I didn't realize we were going to get it at 10 to 11 at night. Just to
Well,
make a decision.
listen, I didn't make the meeting run 3.5 hours, all right? And I could have waited till August or September, but it came up on Facebook 2 days ago, all right? So it's not me. Just want to make that clear. I had a brief discussion with him, with Nick, a month ago, and it just died until all of a sudden it got on Facebook. So I could have just left it alone and not brought it up. But I don't think that's the right thing to do. So I don't think it's a problem for us to be part of this, all right? And it did get on your committee, I'm sorry, but that has nothing to do with me or you. I just want to make that clear. Cindy.
I don't have a problem being involved in it either, but I would like to just make sure that we don't forget about our marching band. Our marching band uses that at night specifically, so if they're going to try to put more things there because they have lights, I mean, the marching band uses it on Saturdays, they use it on Mondays and Wednesdays.
3 nights a week.
Right.
They get a noise ordinance variance or something.
Right, but I just want to make sure that we don't lose sight of the fact that we have to make sure that the marching band is not displaced from the field.
Well, they will be
lights.
displaced during the construction, but
Of course,
otherwise,
but
but
no.
otherwise, no, from what I read on Facebook, and somebody from Bad Parents brought that up,
Yes.
and he said, no, the band will be taken care of, so.
Okay, I just wanted to, let's not forget
No,
about
he
that.
plans on,
I mean, yes, we do use it a
making-
lot
having
in the
those
sports, but
discussions.
the marching band, that's
Main
that's
thing
where
I
they
said,
practice.
the main thing is that he doesn't want outside people using it ahead of town people. Like
Right.
With the kids, whether it's town or Board of Ed. That he doesn't want.
That's all, I just wanted to just make sure nobody forgets about that.
All right, so is there a consensus that we would agree with this? Do we want to, I mean, listen, you don't have to make a decision tonight. I mean, they're going ahead with it whether we do or not. So,
I'm okay.
Was the Cheetos good?
I was gonna ask you that.
Here's my Cheetos and now I'm all for it.
I would just say, if there's gonna be a vote, I would probably abstain, because I didn't even know what you were talking about. This is one thing on Facebook I haven't heard anything about, so I really don't feel informed to make a vote one way or the other myself.
okay, well, we're not going to vote on it formally, but give it thumbs up. Are we okay with it, or do we want to?
I don't even know how much money are we talking about?
650.
65,000 a year starting next year. Give or take.
Could be less.
Could be less, but I don't think so.
Is that like a micro thing in the budget? Like, how does it work procedurally?
It would be a 1920 budgetary item. I mean, I need to also just, if they are obtaining this,
Yeah, we'll have to work out the details. We'll have
Yeah,
to
there's
draft
a
the
lot
shared
more
services
details.
agreement to work
This
the
is
details
just,
out.
I guess,
This is just, should we go forward?
yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to move forward with the thought? Yeah, exactly.
This is just, should we explore it?
All right, so I guess we got 5 thumbs up?
My thumbs up.
Mike,
Okay.
give it a thumbs up or?
Her thumb is orange from the Cheetos.
Orange, but it's up.
Okay.
I abstain.
I did talk to him today, Kurt, and we wanted to let everybody know that the Special Threes are in the process of being hired. They've got half of the people they're looking for, and we'll have them in all the elementary schools by the opening of school in September. So I just want to make that announcement. Now, next month's meeting, we're pushing it back a week to August 23rd.
That's my recommendation, but I mean, I guess we can all discuss it. I mean, I think it's
Is that a problem for anybody?
What day is that?
a Thursday.
Thursday the 23rd instead of the 16th.
I'll have to call in.
Where are you going to
I
be?
don't know, I can't tell until I see
What?
what my.
Oh, wait a minute,
is.
Are you going to be back, Mary?
Not yet. I don't come back until the day after Labor Day, so
No.
if I mean, I'll attend if I can.
Can we call in 2
Depends on
people?
whether I can get rid of my company or not.
No, I mean, do we have the technology?
Oh.
We would have to figure it out, but I'm sure we could
Okay,
manage.
so
What
last
time
time,
is that meeting?
are you going to be in Israel again? Because you had a problem with it. Okay,
Joint
all right.
two-line.
What time is that meeting on the 23rd?
7:30.
Get
Thank
you
you.
a conference.
I just gotta
So I'll let you know.
Mike?
I have to check because I have a trip to see with my grandchildren to see Frozen, and it's either
They said a trip to
Wednesday-
see. I have a trip to
It's
see.
either the Wednesday or the Thursday, and I'm not sure which one.
So we can leave what it is, but it's just gonna.
All right, so put it on the 23rd. We'll have at least 8
Yeah,
people.
I'm just saying that if I'm not here, that's.
7 to
the-
7:30.
If I'm not
7:30.
here,
7:30.
I'm seeing Frozen with my grandchildren.
Good for you.
I'd also like a buildings and grounds committee meeting,
I know, I want to.
if we can make one.
You want to do it in August?
Should I send an
But I
email
want to
out?
build a snowman.
You want it earlier, or I have a date already?
What date do we have?
September 10th.
We're off that day. Yeah, we're off that day.
Holiday.
It says Jewish holiday, it's the 10th and the 11th.
September 10th is-
Sorry, I didn't look at the calendar, I apologize. I'm looking at a regular calendar.
Could you do
and I-
it before the August 23rd meeting?
No,
At
no,
7?
I'm going away next week, and then when I get back,
The 6th maybe, or September 6th?
No, I mean before the August 23rd meeting.
no, I can't.
Oh.
No, I can't. I'm going away next week.
What about the week of the 27th?
You mean right before the meeting? Yeah, no, I mean right before the meeting at 7 PM that day of the meeting.
the 23rd.
They only need like 30 minutes, not even.
Well, I had some other things I wanted to talk about, but I really didn't want to rush them.
All right, you know what, just
Okay.
email
All
it,
right,
you
we'll
guys figure it
email
out.
it.
I really didn't want to rush them either.
Okay, was that anything else? Brooke? Anybody else? All right, a motion to recess into closed session?
You said the potential litigation, I don't think that was on the list you were.
No, we're gonna discuss litigation. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, good night.